From the towering Eiffel Tower to the mighty Golden Gate Bridge, there are certain structures that mankind has built that fill us with awe. In today's video, we will be taking a closer look at one such marvel of engineering, the suspension bridge. Suspension bridges are some of the most impressive structures ever built. They span across wide rivers, deep valleys, and busy harbors with elegance. At first glance, they look fragile, just cables holding a narrow road, but in reality, suspension bridges are built to carry thousands of cars daily. Their secret is in how they spread forces between cables, towers, and anchors. The roadway, called the deck, is suspended by vertical cables called hangers. These hangers connect to the massive curved cables running over the towers. The huge cables are draped in a curve known as a catenary. This curve is not decoration. It is nature's strongest way to carry tension. Each end of the cable is locked into enormous anchors buried deep in the ground. When cars and trucks drive across, their weight pulls down on the deck. This force moves into the hangers, then into the curved main cables. The cables transfer the pull into the towers, which hold them high. The towers press straight down into the ground, resisting compression. Meanwhile, the anchors at both ends resist the sideways pull of the cables. This teamwork between tension and compression keeps the bridge balanced. The main cables are the strongest part of a suspension bridge. They hold the deck up and carry the load. These cables are usually made of many smaller wires twisted together. Each wire is like a tiny cable. When they twist them together, the wires make a bigger cable. The space between the towers is called the span. The longer the span, the more force the cables have to hold. That's why suspension bridges need big, strong cables. The cables are anchored at both ends of the bridge. They don't just hold the bridge up, they keep it from falling apart. The anchors are like giant clamps that hold the cables in place. They're buried deep in the ground so the cables don't slip out. If a cable breaks, the bridge won't collapse because the other cables and anchors will hold it up. But it is really important that all the cables stay in good shape so that the bridge stays safe. That's why engineers and construction workers carefully check the cables all the time. Suspension bridges often look graceful and elegant, but they're actually very tough and strong. They're designed to take lots of weight and stand up against strong winds and earthquakes. Let's look at one of the most famous suspension bridges in the world, the Golden Gate Bridge. It spans the Golden Gate Strait in San Francisco. The Golden Gate Bridge was completed in 1937 and is one of the most popular tourist attractions in the world. The bridge is 280 meters long and towers 220 meters above the water. The main cables are nearly 1 meter thick and made of steel wires. Together, they contain 27,572 strands. That's enough to circle the Earth 3 times. Even though the steel wires are thin, bundled together, they become incredibly strong. The Golden Gate Bridge can hold over 112,000 vehicles each day. Suspension bridges are used all over the world to help people cross large bodies of water or to connect one side of a city to the other. They come in all shapes and sizes. Some are short and some are really long. Some can hold small roads and some can hold big highways. Suspension bridges are also used for footbridges and bike bridges. They're an important part of our transportation system and help us get where we need to go. Now let's see how suspension bridges compare to other types of bridges. Compared to beam bridges and truss bridges, suspension bridges can span much longer distances. They are also good for areas with little space on either side of the river since they only need room for it. The cordages at each end, but they're not as efficient as truss bridges when it comes to distributing weight, and they're not as easy to build as beam bridges. Overall, suspension bridges are a versatile and essential part of our infrastructure that allow us to travel safely over long distances, whether you're crossing a river, a lake, or a deep valley. A suspension bridge is a marvel of engineering that connects us to the places we need to go. So next time you cross a suspension bridge, take a moment to appreciate the incredible engineering that went into its construction, from the sturdy cables to the tall towers. Every part of the bridge is designed to keep you safe and sound as you travel across. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.